Warning: the following program contains language which some may find offensive. Some words have been censored just because of the times we live in. Listener discretion advised.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I am El Nino. All the tropical storms must bow before El Nino. And what you gonna do when all the media in all parts of the world revolve on you?
Because some came in the mail today.
Yeah, I did.
These nuts. Got him.
Are you ready?
How am I in the cans?
Oh, you sound buttery and delicious.
Oh, okay.
So we're here. We made it.
Whiskey Mile Kirkland.
Yes.
Episode 4. No,
I don't know if we're at like 9 or 10 right now.
10.
9 or 10.
Episode 10.
Episode 4 from here, though, right?
Nick's fourth appearance, maybe fifth appearance,
Yeah.
something like that. But the Comedy SIMP podcast remains, people. Regardless of what you might hear on the streets, we're still rolling. And here we got the great Robbie Schroeder.
Yeah, legendary. Final Evolution.
And I'm so happy that you're here, man. So thank you for being on the podcast. Thanks for coming out to the mic.
Yeah, it's like my home.
Yeah, wow. We got like the same glasses. Wow.
We're twinning.
So let's start. Oh, yeah, you need your glasses too, Nick. So let's start. Let's just get into it.
You clicked. It's recording.
We
on
are
it?
recording,
Okay,
yes.
I don't
Yeah,
want to,
yeah.
I have some paranoia.
Okay, well, I'll look at the mic, and you guys just talk for a sec.
Yes.
Or I'll look at the camera. I'll just make
That's
sure.
it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably
this
a good
is-
thing to do.
This is...
We are recording.
That's an initiation of the
Here,
beginning.
you really should have the cans on, though.
So-
Because
Oh, you want me to have headphones?
yeah.
Here, well, I have
Just in
some.
case, 'cause
I have some right here.
I was just going to say, yeah.
All right, I have my headphones, guys.
Yeah, you got
All right, the show is finally starting. Okay, can you hear me good, Robbie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so let's just start with the obvious. Why are you so loved?
I don't know. I think it's just I've just been, I don't know, I'm just around. I've never moved.
No, there is a seriousness to this question because me and Nick here, we've been doing comedy just a couple years. I'm less than 2 years. You're what, 2 years? 2 years.
A month less than.
You could talk. You could put your
A month less than 2.
So we don't know all the ins and outs and all the details and the history of comedy and Seattle comedy. But what I can tell you is that in my experience so far, there are, I don't know what better way to put it, cliques. There are different types of humor, types of comedy. Different people like to stick together and do different types of shows. And you are one of those guys that can bump around to anybody, any club. It seems like, maybe I'm wrong, you can correct me, but like everybody seems to love you. Is it?
I think there's certain cliques. Like I don't go to the Nest. I don't go to club comedy. I could go to club comedy, and I don't bump down to Tacoma often.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, sure, I'll swing in.
Yeah. But so you, that doesn't help. Why are you so loved? That's the question.
I try to.
Do you think?
I've made at least a enemy.
Well, can I ask you this? Do you think it's the way you treat people, or do you think maybe that you've been around for so long.
I try to treat people
that
kindly.
people. Is there a, because you've been around a while, is there a truth to people not being welcoming to new comics?
I think sometimes when you are an experienced comic, you don't have the patience or grace to talk to new comedians. You don't have the time to riff-raff, and you have a job and you're making money. I mean, not to say the new comics don't as well, but I think some comedians are like, I'm just going to focus on doing my thing on stage and getting out and getting back to my normal life.
It's awesome, man.
But I like socializing. I like seeing the new walks of life that come through, and it's different people, and everybody comes from a different background. Like, Rich Snyder's like 50, right? And he's coming in and being like, this is my new hobby. I'm doing this. And I mean, I'm name dropping. But
no, it's good. No, we're going to name drop a lot of people.
But, we're
going to name drop a lot of people
I mean,
today.
like Brent Driscoll came into the comedy community, and he's like, I got film experience. I'm going to make this partially my career by filming people. Zach Fisher films people. It's cool when you have a cross hobby that, like, I don't know, I make pins.
Yeah.
I think I started doing that maybe right before I started comedy, and now it's become my, I can make merch for Tony Peters.
It's funny. I used to make T-shirts before I did this, and now I was designing T-shirts for other people.
You designed it for Michael.
Michael Aguilera, yes, the Alcoholics, a lot of his T-shirt. I still don't have any royalties from that design. All I want is a spot at Laughs Comedy Club.
Well,
Michael, put in a good word for me, buddy. Come on.
Did you do the audition? Did you talk to Jamie?
No, so I have
I've
sent about 7 to 10 emails since November. I filled out their online form.
Maybe you just have to go on a Thursday and beg to get on stage?
I guess so. I talked to Marie, and so Marie said, hey, here's an email I got from Andrew Frank. And it was kind of like, here's the email. It seems like they like to put on people who go through their comedy class.
Oh.
And so I get it. Like in the beginning, I kind of felt like, when am I going to get my spot? I want to audition. But now I understand, like, there is only so many opportunities available, and I've been to Laughs on a Wednesday or Thursday, and there are some people there that are professional. Adam Tiller. Come on, Robbie, fill in the names for me. Adam Tiller.
I don't know. I don't go there that often. So.
Well, and dude, I've taken Andrew Frank's class. It doesn't guarantee you anything. So I think it's just, I think there is a level there that they've probably been backlogged for a long time.
Oh, I just pulled my headphones out.
You got to show up and beg. That's what you got to do.
And making appearances and supporting shows is a huge part of it. I mean, that's, not everybody can commit to that.
But
if
you're
you don't have a spot.
You're producing your own thing here with the help of family and friends.
I don't know about producing. This is just kind of like
you are producing.
You messaged me. That's a production.
Yeah, I guess so. I would love a budget. I mean, if we
wouldn't we all?
if we start getting a lot of people out here. I know the owner here. He'll probably throw down some money.
Say if you got 600 sales and food consistently or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the right price.
I feel like we've definitely started to bring in a lot of business to this place. I don't take all the credit because, oh my God. Hey, comedian!
Speaking of who should take the credit.
Oh, yes. So, Robbie, I don't know, like lately in the last few episodes we've been sitting out here, everybody who arrives, we like to...
Oh, you scream.
We like to catcall them because we're not, as men, we can't catcall women anymore, so we catcall comedians.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you're pretty, you can catcall a woman, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't think...
I don't know. Let's give
Scott Coburn.
So, I think some women might not admit it, but
I think
if you're in a... Go ahead.
If Robbie has the denim jacket on, he can catcall whoever he wants.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, though, like, if you are one of those, like, super handsome 10 out of 10 men, you could be an absolutely horrible person, and women will still want your attention.
Andrew Tate?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Is he that handsome? I don't know. Is bald...
Robbie just gave away his interest.
It's funny that I say this with Scott Coburn here. Is bald a thing for women that they really like?
Some women.
Yeah.
Some women are. Some
Yeah.
Bald fat guys and some women
Yeah.
don't.
Well, Scott's got the Jesse Ventura look, the governor.
Veteran.
I got the
Bill Goldberg. Yes. Yes.
Oh, Goldberg?
Yes. Were you a wrestling fan, Robbie, growing up?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk about this now. What years were you a wrestling fan?
I don't know. I
The
was
90s?
when Rey Mysterio was like a top rope
Yeah.
aerobic dude, and Undertaker, Mankind,
Yeah.
the cage match.
So,
whenever I was like
late-
11 to 15.
Yes. Okay. So late
it was only a
90s.
couple
Late 90s.
years.
That was the best. That was the best time. Did you ever go to wrestling in person?
No, but I was part of the Seattle Semi-Pro Wrestling.
Oh, whoa.
From
whoa,
ages
whoa.
like
What is?
it was they used to have performance areas, mainly the Rebar, which
Okay.
was down near that corned beef place near the freeway entrance on Olive Way.
I don't know about this place, but this is why he's on this show, people. He knows.
Downtown-
He has
I
so
know.
much history in his
It's like
brain.
a couple blocks from the subway there, the 24-hour fitness, right?
The
Yeah.
Subway.
Yeah.
The Subway?
Like there's a Subway restaurant.
Oh, down
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, Rebar,
Yeah.
that was one of the first comedy venues I remember seeing comedy at. And variety shows.
So wrestling. All right.
Wrestling, yeah.
Well, I guess we kind of beat around the bush a little bit too much. You're a little bit close to my age. I think you're a little bit younger than me, but
No, I don't know. 37?
yeah, I'm 38.
Okay.
So we
I
talked
am
about
younger.
we-
You hear that?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm 37. He's
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are we talking to?
Old fucks.
But
Halflings.
you
halflings.
have been doing comedy a decade? Something like that?
yeah,
12 years.
12 years working.
But-
yeah.
Am I right in saying before comedy you were still doing some sort of an art? Were you doing music,
yeah.
stuff like that?
I did poetry in 6th grade.
So was that? No, I mean, were you serious about that, or are you just joking? Is that like? were you
as
really
serious
invest-
I can be as a 6th grader?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but did that transition into doing music after that, or
poetry.
Yeah.
I mean, I got.
Or
I
did
got
that go into
it
comedy?
when I was like 18. I got into a jam band. Like 19. I got into turntablism. I wanted
Okay.
to be a breakdancer, so I went to Tacoma.
Is that the first thing you wanted to do? Like when you were younger, like
no,
as a
I mean, I
teenager?
wanted to be a video
No,
game
I mean like
designer.
seriously. Like what did you seriously want to pursue? Like not just like I'm dreaming about it, but you actually like put in the time and effort into wanting to
I think I just played a lot of video
games. And I mean I used to joke a lot about like video games are a waste of time. I don't play as much as I used to, but now since coming up here, I've met you. I met this guy and Jeff, all people that have worked in the industry. And
What industry?
The
Okay.
video game, like I didn't take it seriously as an art form. I was like movies.
I didn't work in it.
TVs.
I as someone that worked in it didn't
No,
take
no,
it as an
I'm
art
not.
form.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying like.
I was
but-
the one dealing with kids that told the mothers they fucked each other. like I'm not that guy. I saw the saddest part of the art form.
Just the fact that you tell me that you were into video games means that you didn't just casually play them. That it was a passion of yours. That you really
Sure, until I found weed.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
invested yourself into video games. Like I was never able. I mean, I did that a little bit, but like once I got into high school and got into music, I was like, I just never got back into games the same.
Yeah, I went to a homeschool resource center, so I worked it into my curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Nice.
like vocabulary.
Yeah.
Oh, what's an atlatl or whatever, or
Uh,
flail?
yeah.
You know.
I was able to use guitar as PE credits because I went to a continuation high school. And so
Did you walk playing the guitar?
No. I exercised my fingers.
I feel like that doesn't count.
No. Well, it's a California education system, man. I mean, what are you
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do?
a stretch.
They're just trying to get you through, So comedy, though. I mean, you were doing music, turntables. I really liked turntables a lot when I was younger, but it was one of those hobbies that are just way too expensive to get into.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like guitar, once you start, but there's no cheap. I mean, what's an introduction turntable set like? $400 or $500? I mean,
But now you can get digital and scratch digitally.
Mhm.
Yeah, you only need one turntable, but yeah, it's probably $300 to $500. Or like now, I think they're still making them, but it's $1,000
Wow.
for a new one, maybe.
I used to, those old record players that old people would have in their houses that you would open up the top. And I would randomly have those in houses that I lived in, either like an aunt's house or a grandma's house. And I used to scratch those records and just make the worst noise and just ruin the needle on those things. All because I was an Incubus fan.
They had scratching at Incubus.
You. I forget who I'm talking to here. Like, you're from Washington. I know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Rob Conroy said that you guys were on a soccer team together.
Yeah, we met in kindergarten.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. What was little Rob Conroy like? Do you remember him at all?
Distressed.
Did he look like a psychotic little kid he does now?
He was like very distant and sad, and he wanted to be my blood brother, and he wanted me to cut my hand open.
That really makes a lot of sense.
But I valued him because he had Addams Family on Super Nintendo. So,
dude, I loved that game. I probably rented that game, but I remember like laying on top of a bunk bed and staying up all night playing that.
It's not worth a blood oath, but it's cool.
Yeah.
He was one of those divorced kids of a divorce that had a TV in their bedroom. Where like we had a black and white or like a color TV, but it was like, maybe 10 inches. We could watch The Simpsons, and my grandfather would be like, "What are you watching, that devil garbage, Matt Groening?" I don't know.
Were you a Simpsons fan, Nick?
Yeah, for a lot growing up as a kid, but that's just because my parents didn't change the fucking dial off Fox.
Yeah. I really love the first kind of 10 seasons. I think after that I kind of checked out a little bit. But
I couldn't tell you anything the past like decade of Simpsons. No.
Have you ever been to Universal Studios, the Simpsons land in Universal Studios?
Not of. I feel like I've been into some kind of mock-up plastic room of that.
Yeah.
But I don't. I remember going to Tiny Toons Town when I was.
Oh, that must have been a long, long time ago then, because I went to Universal in 2011, and then I went again in 2017, and the drastic change. They basically, in those 6 years, tried to make it into Disneyland because they added Harry Potter and all that stuff. But my impression of Universal Studios from 2011 was like, this is kind of like a low-budget theme park. So I imagine when you were there as a kid, I mean, what?
No, well, that was Disneyland. But
really?
I went to Universal Studios.
My whole thing was just wasted.
Back then, though, Disney did seem like the lower budget.
I thought Tiny Toons was Universal.
Well, maybe it was.
Maybe. But I know Universal, dude, the only thing that people were there for the Jurassic Park ride.
Oh.
And then, everybody else knew, everybody knew that, it wasn't Disneyland, but even then, back then, Disneyland kind of seemed tacky. I haven't been since 2011, but even then, I remember being like, I don't know. But now, they add the Star Wars shit, and then Universal added the Mario, all the Mario shit, huh?
Uh-huh.
So I
heard about that.
That looks awesome. That looks like
I would like
to
take some mushrooms and go there.
Yeah.
Why not? Why are we? What? Huh?
Mario seems cool. I remember going to Universal a couple years ago, but it was just I went to the shopping mall area.
Oh, you went to Universal City Walk.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was walking around there one time, and somebody was handing out flyers for the John Lovitz Comedy Club. Rest in peace.
How long did that last?
Right.
Only a couple years. There's actually a famous story out there about Kevin Smith. He used to do his podcast at the studio there, and
cool.
getting ripped off by John Lovitz, and totally just going off. I mean, Kevin Smith had a lot of public feuds. So, you said one guy didn't like you though, huh? Or one person?
Yeah, one person.
Callback.
I don't want to. Yes, it is a callback. I'm not. I know what I'm doing here.
Fancy.
It's the Comedy Simp podcast, buddy.
I knew you weren't going to let that one go.
You don't have to call this person out, but is this a...
And it can be bleeped.
Was this a comedy friend? Was this a personal friend? Or was... I don't know.
It was a comedy friend. Essentially, I was in the wrong.
A good friend or a...
No, just like a
casual,
a colleague.
Casual,
yeah.
okay. And was this recent or a
no,
long
this
time
was
ago?
like
in the early days?
8 years ago.
In the early
something.
days. How long were you doing comedy 8 years ago?
Like 4...
So 4...
Maybe it was in my first 3 years. I had
All
been
right.
in the scene for at least a year with this person.
So we
and-
say 12 years you've been doing. So 2012 was when
Yeah,
you
in
started?
October. It was like a week after my birthday. So
crazy,
in
yeah.
October, it'll be 13.
That's
Fucking
when I met my
arithmetic
wife.
guy over here.
So what? You were doing all sorts of different art. You seem like the kind of guy, and tell me if I'm wrong, that you go to a lot of things. You know, I see you posting things like different markets, like night markets and farmers markets and cool little pop-up event. Is that true? Do you do that kind of stuff?
I mean, it's
Swap meets?
I'd love to, but I don't. I got rejected from a couple recently,
Really?
so
Yeah.
and then I don't apply to a lot. It's easier when you have a partner in crime, or
Yeah.
like last one I did. Mary Hall actually brought me in
Oh, nice.
because she had the lead, and so that was cool because I had like a shoe in. So it's nice when you have like a promoter, producer, partner in crime.
Yeah. Well, this sucks, Nick, because everything that I assume about this guy is wrong.
Making assumptions, man.
God.
It makes an ass out of you and me.
All right. Well, let's just get to the truth here. What made you want to start comedy? I mean, 2012. It's kind of like it. It was. Do you remember? Before you get into that, do you remember what was it like in 2012 for comedy? Do you remember? Like, because I don't even think Joe Rogan was kind of. I mean, he was out, but he wasn't a thing. It wasn't.
And at the time, I got to see Chris D'Elia headline at the Rose Bowl, and that's like when he started blowing
Yeah.
up early before he got sitcom spots and stuff. So
I'd say D'Elia.
I want to say like
Whitney Cummings.
there was a lot of people that are in the mainstream now that were coming up then. But I think in general, like, if you were to ask somebody, do you want to go to a comedy show? It was like very limited. Like back then, I feel like the people that you'd ask to go see a comedy show, they would need to know the name involved
I
in
think
it.
Reggie Watts started getting a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I loved Reggie. Yeah.
And he was from Seattle, or he lived in Seattle
Yeah.
for a couple years.
Yeah, yeah, I would say about 07, 08 is when I started to hear about him. I started to hear about Doug Benson, because really up until then, like, I would say like in the early 2000s, like kind of Dave Attell and
Oh
all
yeah,
that.
David Insomniac.
I loved
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that, but other than that, my
And
only
Chappelle Show.
my only experience and exposure to comedy was like random, like, a Jim Carrey or a Martin Lawrence or a Robin Williams
How
or
about
something
Bo
like
Burnham
that.
on the YouTube or
Well,
something?
now, I mean, that was later. I didn't discover him until
I
later.
think in 2012 specifically, too, is a point of transition where it was in between, before, big YouTube specials
Yeah.
or anything like that. And then you had to have that kind of TV association to go see someone. And it was just in that transition before it's like, oh, you could actually go out and make like a Travis Wallace. If you could go out,
Trevor Wallace?
Trevor
Yeah.
Wallace, you can go out there and start, comedy before it even hits the stage and get more out of actually marketing, not your material, but just who you are, sketches, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that didn't exist while Comedy Central was just, oh, we're not going to give these 30-minute specials anymore. We're just going to play old shows like Seinfeld again.
I was thinking back to my teenage years, and my friends would watch, or a group of my friends would watch Kings of Comedy. Cedric.
Oh, yeah, the original King. Yep.
Bernie.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
And DL Hughley.
Yeah.
Yes, and DL, he's still, I mean, they're all great. They've all done everything, but DL is still stand-up. Like, he still tours, and I think he was at Nate Jackson's last year, and the other guys, they do, like, TV shows. Oh, and Bernie Mac, obviously.
Yeah.
Rest in
Wow.
peace.
Yeah.
But, so, again, I want to get back to this 2012 thing. October 2012, did you ever go see live comedy before that? Did you see local comedy? Did you big comedians? I mean, what was your thought?
I remember
back
seeing.
then?
I saw some so my sister's friend married Emmett Montgomery.
Oh, really?
And so that was
nice.
like my shoe-in to deciding, like, oh, I'm gonna go see Weird and Awesome, and then he was hosting an open mic at the Crescent Karaoke Bar. It's like a gay bar that does karaoke, and so that's what I did. And I saw a couple shows at the Rebar, and then I remember as a kid, I definitely saw some kind of Mystery Science Theater, like dub over improv of a movie.
Did you know who Emmett Montgomery was when your friends?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I just knew he was I think I'd seen a couple shows he had been in, and I worked at Hot Mama's Pizza, so like the comedians would come in there after performing, and then I'd be like, "Oh, you're Solomon Giorgio. You're gonna move to L.A. and then back again, and then back to L.A." and like a couple local,
Mm-hmm. I wasn't even aware that he was on Last Comic Standing.
I heard that Norm was like, "You're too original. You'll never make it.
Yeah.
You're cursed.
If that's
If
you get a comment like that from Norm, I think that's worth a million things. I mean, I don't. That show, I guess, was pretty popular, but I don't ever remember it being on. I don't remember watching it.
Yeah, I don't remember past the first season when Dat Fan won, and I went, I don't know if this show is for me.
There's a couple people that have come out of that show that are still around today.
Oh,
though.
dude,
I think Doug Benson was on Last Comic Standing.
A lot of the first season people, like, I still see, like, Rich Voss still gets work.
I didn't know he was on there. That's awesome.
Dude, again, you got to go back to like the first season though. I really don't know anything like past. Yeah, I think when Norm was being one of the judges, I think everything after that I quit paying attention to because the time slots they put it in or whatever, but it just it did not do as well, and I know that because I still remember like that Colin Quinn Tough Crowd episode where Patrice just destroyed that fan for doing the same voice over and over again. Even before he could respond, he was like, "Oh, you gonna go do your Asian mom voice again for that, right?" And yeah, called it spot on. He tried to hide it for like 30 seconds and then went right to the voice. And it's like, no, that's your first winner of Last Comic Standing right there.
Nice.
The people chose.
Yeah. So anyways, dude, like what was it like during that time in Seattle? Where was the first place you did comedy? How were you feeling personally? Did you prepare? Give us a whole breakdown.
I think I studied for at least a week. I went and saw these. I think I saw the open mic, saw the show, or I think I went to both open mics after going to the show, the Weird and Awesome show.
And that was the same, that same venue, that bar.
Well, I went to the Annex Theater on Capitol Hill to see the comedy variety show, and then I went to the Crescent Lounge, and it was on the same night as I think a Tuesday night at Jai Thai or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you could double dip.
Okay.
They had it so if you signed up at the Crescent, which nobody wanted to perform at a gay bar that's a karaoke bar, you could get on the sweet spot at Jai Thai.
Sounds awesome.
You could get at like number 13, which is right where you want to be.
Yeah.
But I had like this kind of tunnel vision where it's like, I'm new to the scene. I'm just doing this because I think I know one person. And I had like, printed out, typed up Word document of like Pop-Tarts that are scalloped flavored. Or
oh, God.
I'm like, my biggest turn on is a light switch.
And now Jerry Seinfeld made a Pop-Tart movie. And all full circle here.
Sure. Yeah. And Jesus Christ lives.
It all connects people. So, Pop-Tarts, huh?
But I just remember like not knowing people's names and comedians looked alike to me, like, and just watching I'd go out once a week, hit those 2 mics, and they're both on the Hill. And then after that, after like 3-4 months, I went to a different venue, tried different venues. So it wasn't,
Did you go to Laughs when it was in Kirkland?
I didn't, but I've had friends who did.
I almost had my first open mic experience. It had to be 2013 or 14. I just moved up here, and I went for the open mic, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll sign up. And then I saw who was there, and I was like, fuck. And the sign-ups were like 20 people deep. I'm like, they must be good. I sat there for like, no.
Yeah.
And then immediately was like, dude, I never want to do comedy.
No.
But I was like, if I were in a job that didn't make me want to feel like I was going to kill myself any other day, I was like, oh yeah, I'd totally go up there. But I was like, I'm not going to.
What was your job?
Incel babysitter on Xbox, or policy enforcement is what they called it then. But yeah, it's just basically policing and babysitting incels, slapping them on the wrist for harassing people.
You worked for Xbox or something?
Yeah. Contractor spot for Xbox. But,
I feel like you could write a short story.
We're gonna pitch. We're pitching a series to Netflix.
Oh God,
you're gonna be in it.
Violates some NDA, I'm sure I've signed, but
I think you gotta
make up some of the details around it. It will be it was Xbox Live, right?
I've actually talked to, I think I told Robbie about this once, and I'm going to just bring it up again because I believe if I say things that they happen into fruition. And I have an idea for a show where it's like a talk show, like a Conan O'Brien show.
Mm-hmm.
My original idea was he was the host, like behind a desk, and he just brings up comics, interviews them, we do funny things, ha ha ha. It's like a live Tom Green kind of show.
I've done this like twice, at least once already.
But I was going to say, but then after talking to you, I was like, this would be better if I was the host and then he was like the angry producer that was mad at me because I kept going off script or going over time or something like that.
Except I really, you'd have to give me a time frame to work with because I'm pretty relaxed about
No.
time.
You're playing a character.
Oh, okay.
You're a character as like
Okay, yeah, I
this
could
is
play
like,
a character.
Yeah, you're an angry
have a whip.
producer who's just like, you know, you can't believe he's going over time and he's doing this and he's doing that. And I think it would be great. So if any producers out there want to make this happen, my fee is only $500
An episode?
an episode.
All right, there's Stephen Michael James manifesting destiny for himself again.
How much do we
once
need
again.
up front? Do we need like $3,000?
And you can,
$5,000?
I'm having some tax issues right now, so if you want to donate all my money to Mike Devore's Cash App, hit him up. And, you know, he'll help me out. So, all right, man. So back then, what venues were around, what people were around that we would know, people that we know, either that are still in the scene today or people that have gone on to bigger and better things? Who was around back then, and what were the venues back then?
There was Jai Tai.
So Jai Tai was around a long time because it closed pretty much like
yeah,
6 months before I started.
And it wavered before then. It had two producers. It was Dane finished it off, but Paul Curry was before him. And then before that, it was like Rick Taylor combined with Anthony Calderon, who's local, Ellensburg, and, you know, Billy Anderson, Aaron Engel.
So two of those
Evan
people
Morrison.
went on to start comedy clubs.
Who? Oh, yeah, Rick and Dane, yeah.
Isn't that pretty crazy?
Really crazy.
Yes. I don't know anybody that has started a comedy club. Do you, Nick?
I mean, yeah.
Not yet?
Oh, who?
I mean, you know.
I guess you kind of know him, but whatever. Anyways.
You know, well, even
Mike?
that, like,
Nolan?
down, even some of the people down in Eugene, like, they're starting to try and get their own thing going, you know?
Well.
Trying to turn some bars that are failing to make sales, that's pretty close. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But if you're trying to take a failed space and turn it into a comedy bar, you know, anything could happen.
Well, I'm not saying it's crazy, okay? I'm just saying there was something special about Jai Tai. I was never even there, and
Dude,
it's just like the
It could
Come
be
on,
anything
Mike.
in your
Was there
head.
something about Jai Tai? Just
I met Mike at Blue Moon Tavern.
I was there the last 2 weeks, man. So,
but there's like the there's something about it. There's
Bad
like
plumbing.
there's
cheap rice noodles.
there's a spirit that just continues to linger.
Well, you know, a lot of
spread.
I think 3 of their kitchen equipment is in Comedy Bar.
Oh yeah, okay. So there it is. It's still.
I still think my favorite moments in Jai Tai all involve talking to people while they were smoking cigarettes outside
that
more
was
than inside.
One of the best parts, and that's where you bring it back to established comedians not wanting to talk to newer comedians.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
not established, but more seasoned than.
But what was it about Jai Tai? Why was it so? Why do we
Loitering.
still?
We said loitering.
Why do we still? Why are we still talking about it today?
Besides the loitering, it was like a small, intimate space.
It was a
that,
recent history.
like,
yeah.
That and like. A lot of terms of like a stage where everybody has the eye line to you and there's no interruptions to that.
Yeah, it was a geometric thing. So
Yep.
it's like kind of like a baseball diamond with the stage and then really high ceiling. So there's
And even if there's like one, like to compare it to Town Pub, if you have a booth that literally has no sight line to the stage, you're just inviting them to have their own thing going on over there. That's at least the one thing with the Jai Tai stage is like the focus was the stage.
you could only fit like 40 people in there maybe, unless you're pull the tables out or something.
Yep. Hence all the extended smoke breaks. Nobody wanted to stay in there too long because it got fucking dank and sweaty. It's smelling like comics.
People under 21 could still perform as long as they lingered near the front door.
Yeah.
So it was kind of inviting, inclusive in a way. It was. I mean, I didn't start when I was that young, but
So was Jai Thai? Was it a hot place at the time?
it was always kind of hot.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know where else.
Well, like, all right.
Rendezvous was the other like venue. That was like.
How about Comedy Underground? Was that around at the time?
That was a whole nother lane. Yeah, that was I think that was that was one of the mainstays in Seattle. But that was where you would get unashamedly bumped from there maybe weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't get there, so you'd go to like Blue Moon Tavern or something instead, or maybe Tony V's or something before it moved next door.
Ah, see, I did not know this. Tony
Yeah.
V's moved. It was in a different place.
It was right next door or something on the block.
Wow. It's pretty wild. See? History lessons here with Robbie Schroeder. Anyways, again, man, this Jai Thai thing, though, I want to keep bringing it back. It is weird.
It was three nights, maybe 4 nights
it continues to be talked about.
Yeah.
People who were producers there, hosts there, went on to start comedy clubs. And there's a lot of people from back then that are still doing it today. And, I mean, there's just, for it being this, like, crappy little restaurant, it's, like, got such a high regard with local comedians.
Lori Kilmartin came through there. I remember seeing her there.
Were there shows there, or was it just always an open mic?
It was always a show on Saturday, and sometimes there would be like a bonus open mic after the show at midnight. They were like, the Fox runs at midnight, or, they said some kind of, Mason quote, or stonemason.
Yeah. What was, do you remember kind of how, was there a difference between how kind of comedians acted back then versus now?
Acted what, off stage? On stage?
Yeah. Both. Was the humor? What was the difference? Was there?
I remember
was the humor? Because Seattle's different. Seattle's its own bubble, but I mean,
it was like jokes about smart cars and I don't know, masturbating.
And there's
too
also
much.
there's also like I hear a lot of like the old. I don't know about Seattle, but I hear about in other scenes like the old comedians that.
Hennigan. We had Hennigan.
People that were like.
Couldn't walk?
No. People that would haze you, like not just bumping, but like just extreme behavior.
I think
towards.
There's like besides just gatekeeping, besides being like, nah, we're not gonna have you on.
Was there
show.
a lot more toxic male energy back then?
It's probably equal. Wow. I don't know. Maybe maybe not.
Yeah.
I think now since the scene is split and like doubled.
So what do you mean by that? Because that's interesting.
There's
split.
more.
What do you mean there's split?
Like stock market. So like it's doubled or tripled.
Okay.
Like there's more room for toxicity now. But there's also room for everybody to have their own pocket.
Do you think was it similar back then? Like as far as like groups and styles of comedy and
people
were still doing
people were doing rogue shows, at like Wild Rose. They had a sideshow show. I think that was what it was called.
So you have
people being like, "Hey, we need less open mics and more showcases." That's what people would say.
Well, it seems like they say that now too.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's what
it's really hard to get. It's just hard to. There's so much competition, and so not just
and so many competitions that mean nothing.
Not even just like events to go to, but it's just like, why even leave your house when you have your phone and you have your TV and you have your bong and
porn,
like
it's healthier to leave your house.
So hard. Absolutely, I agree, but
unless you're getting drunk and like cutting up your hands or something by accident.
Whenever I
or drunk driving,
I'll tell people I have a show in Seattle on a Monday. They're like, Seattle on a Monday, and I'm like, yeah, Seattle on a Monday. People do it every day, every week.
Yeah, even for going to work, I try to avoid Mondays.
Yeah. Mondays are never too bad. Tuesdays,
I
Because
don't
a lot
know,
of people
dude.
call. I think a lot of people call out on Mondays.
I went
I
this
commute,
I
buddy.
went this Monday, dude, and it was not.
Oh, I had a
was
soul crushing
awful.
Monday.
Yeah?
This Monday. I performed it for 3 comedians at what's Big Bad Bar? No, not Bad Bar. I went to Bad Bar, but then it was Big Time. I went to Big Time, and Mike wasn't there, Tony Heath, and it was.
The
I
former
I
Husky,
just, I
the
put
former
it.
Husky Mike. Yeah.
I was excited to go. Anyways, it didn't
Yeah.
end well for my spirits. It took me a day to recover.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, Mike Devore's over here. He's listening. He's not on the show, but he's listening.
You
and
want on, Mike?
He knows.
Got a spot for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna get another.
He's a producer.
I-
He
I-
knows a lot.
Yeah.
He knows basically everything.
Yeah.
And he's God.
Was he
So-
around? Was he around back then?
I met him at Blue Moon like 6-7 years ago. I don't know how
Yeah.
long ago. Maybe not that. Whenever you moved to
Now
Seattle.
we got to get Mike on camera.
And
Mike, get over.
Oh no!
Swap
Oh,
out.
bye. Nick Cody's out. Nick Cody's out. Mike Devore's in. Everybody. Oh man.
Hey, I was just watching the show.
All right. Well,
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thanks for now.
Mike Devore, everybody.
Hey.
Nick Cody's gonna go drink his beer now. The adults have entered the room.
wow.
I'm just kidding. The adults are here at the Whiskey Mile. So, anyways, Mike, I'm just talking to Rob. Oh, where's your you need sunglasses?
Oh, do I?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, here.
Do we?
Oh, it's kind of a rule.
Oh, dang.
It's kind of a rule.
Copy
You
that.
can break it if you want, but just talking about kind of the history of Seattle comedy. You know, what was it like back when Robbie started in 2012?
Wow. I started in 2013, but I started in San Diego.
Pull it up just a little.
Madhouse
Yeah.
Comedy Club.
Madhouse Comic Club in San Diego. But in Seattle, I didn't move here until 2019. And before that, my taste of the scene was just like coming up here doing a couple of shows while on tour. And I was like, I really like Pacific Northwest, and I'd like to come back. And found my way back to the Seattle area. So, yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting experience.
Oh, I know. I follow you, buddy. I love you guys both. So, what do you you seem like a pretty, like nothing really bothers you on stage. Like you're at the point now where, and you too.
I mean, I put up a good mask.
Yeah.
Because I'm
You
always,
too.
I'm always a
You
little
too.
bit.
But like in the beginning, did you ever, because I know for me, I had some times where I had, like even that Black Lab Gallery thing I did on Saturday, I had to leave because I felt like I did so bad. I was like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So
I've
did
said
you have some
things,
early days where you were like, man, I don't know if I should do comedy. This sucks, like.
Yes.
Because you seem like such a confident guy, but I'm just
I didn't-
asking,
There's not a lot. I mean, I still question whether. I mean, I think I have more. Now I just do one-liner puns. That's like all I. And I have a couple of stories that I haven't worked out. That
Wow.
might be more suited for like a library setting.
No laughter, just all silence
Yeah.
afterwards. No,
Talent show.
no. Like I used to take bombs to heart early on.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I remember, this is kind of cringeworthy. I one time I bombed pretty badly, and I tagged everyone in the show and apologized on Facebook.
Oh,
And then my
I
buddy.
feel like I would have done something like
yeah,
that.
and then I was just I just felt bad, and no one's like, we don't care. Everyone's like, we don't care. So yeah, no, I've done some cringy. Now, as far as if I bomb, it's like it's part of the process. For me, it's like
Builds character.
it builds character, and it's like, am I bombing because it's one thing to bomb with stuff that works, but it's like, am I trying? It's one of those things where it's like, am I trying something new and failing?
Yeah.
Am I trying new material and failing? That's different than like doing being in front of a really good crowd and seeing a comic before you do really well and then you struggle and then a comic after you do well. Like that, I'm like, man, that's I guess they just didn't like me. They did not like me at all. So.
Or it's an off day. I haven't done a lot of really good audience crowds, I feel like I haven't had too many amazing. I feel like I haven't done like a theater,
Yeah.
like a small theater.
Well, you guys are friends with people that have done theaters.
Oh yeah. Like I remember meeting Sam Miller before he took off
Yeah.
years ago. like when he started, and he was like,
Uh-huh.
I'm really into this, and then he found it as a like a lane or like a now a career path.
So I don't really know all of his story and stuff like that. Was he sober at the time when you
When
met
he
him?
started, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was curious if
I think
anybody
he was
knew.
sober till he got married, and then he was working as like a drug rehab
Mhm.
counselor, and then and then I don't think he didn't do drugs after he had kids, I'm sure, but I don't know. I'm saying that.
I'm in recovery now, so like it's funny. Like when I like meet people in recovery, like I mentioned I do comedy. They're like, "Oh, do you know Sam Miller?" I'm like, "I know him."
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
so,
pretty
like,
cool. That's
I don't
cool.
know him personally, but like I just love the fact that like he focuses his recovery on helping others and everything. So I love that shit.
Yeah. Well, no, dude, he's doing great, and he found himself a nice niche. Like these recovery things that he does, and I don't know. I'm still trying to find my niche. I don't know what it is.
How long you been doing this?
You're a producer.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just started.
Not even 2 years.
You
man.
just started.
Not even
man.
2 years.
You, like here's it.
No.
Like, do you want advice or do you want like or like?
Yeah,
I don't.
of
I don't mind
course.
to give like unsolicited advice. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
But like the first couple
Anybody who's a friend of Adam Tiller is a friend of me.
We're not really talking right now.
Oh, sorry.
But that's okay. It's okay. No, like honestly though, like you're like people who start new, it's just about getting up. It's just getting reps. You don't know who you are. Like a lot of times, I think Patton Oswalt said it takes like 5 years to find your voice. I've been doing this for about 11 years, and I just found my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you like just like don't rush it. Enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And just like enjoy it. This like as crazy as it sounds, the open mic part of the career is the most fun and the freeing.
Oh.
It sucks when you go through it, but like realistically, when you're not dealing with the business side of things and you're not dealing with bookings and all that shit, you just have the freedom to do mics. That's the most freeing part of the comedy career. It may not feel like it at the time, but trust me, that's how it is.
Well, I mean, like I have been stressing, when I come here, this isn't like my place or anything like that. I've just been here so many times, then I know the people who work here, so I'm just comfortable here. But like every time I go to other places, I get stressed out, and I'm like, man, is this material gonna be too dirty? Is this gonna be funny? And it's so like at Club Comedy the other day, I was just like, man, I don't know if this is gonna go over well. And then when I'm here, I'm just totally loose. Like I don't even have to think about it. I don't, like half the time I'm just talking about people that are in the bar. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's nice is when you can go somewhere so many times, you have material curated for the room.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
sure you
know.
had that for Shanghai, right?
Yeah, that's where I think I developed this is not a hostage situation. The doors are unlocked.
That's fun.
Like,
That's
So
hilarious.
was that the first open mic that you were a host of?
at least consistently, yeah,
Yeah.
where it was, I mean, I did Flying Boots Tavern before that, and he paid me $70 a week.
Wow, nice.
And that was cool, but the manager you would yell at me and like made me cry.
made you
even.
earn that $70.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? This isn't worth the creative freedom.
Yeah,
so.
no.
And I've done other hosting before that, but not like as a
Yeah.
weekly.
Yeah.
And for Shanghai, yeah, that was like 8 months or something every Sunday.
How about you, Mike? You ever been a regular host?
I used to host mics in San Diego. I'm starting to get back into hosting. I really like hosting.
I like it too.
I've considered doing, like, Comedy Bar has the $25 for Friday nights. They're looking for people, and I was like, ooh, like, it's always fun to tantalize.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just hard to make a commitment. Like, I like doing it. I just, like, every week, like, I want to be able to, like, even here, like, I come here every Thursday, but, like, I just did the Tacoma Comedy Club submission, so if they put me on a Thursday, then
Nice.
I'll go there, so.
That's hard. Yeah, it's always hard to sign up in advance, whether it be
Yeah.
like weeks or whatever, or the week of in advance.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really want to say I'm going to perform? And I don't like it's probably, I think about it more than the host or the comedians, but not showing up for a spot where they call your name and
Yeah.
you're not there. It feels like spiritually it feels bad, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not that big of a deal.
Mhm.
It's like, why don't you just put out, more darts and see which ones stick, or I don't know. But it's like a bad it's bad form to not show up, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, and I don't even really care about the whole like, hey, we're not going to book you for 2 months. It's just for me, like I want to follow through with my commitments. Like even if it's something that's not, it's hard to like say like a non-club show is not as important as a club show, but even both, like it makes me feel bad even if it's nothing that's gonna get me anywhere, or anything like that.
Yeah, if it has good production value and it's like a backyard barbecue show, that's still like
but
cool
I feel
to be there.
I feel bad if I can't, if I make a commitment and then can't follow through with it. So
Yeah.
And it's hard as an adult to want to make commitments because things happen,
Yeah.
Life happens, crazy stuff happens.
There's times where like I'll sign up for a TCC in a month in advance, and then the shut night comes, and I'm like, fuck, I'm all the way up in Everett.
Yeah.
And I want to drive 2 hours in traffic to do 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, but I still follow through though, because I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah, that's commitment. And then it's like, what do you do in your car? What do you listen to, or what do you?
Are you asking me, or just in general?
You don't have to answer.
Yeah.
I used to listen to like You Made It Weird podcast or Mark Maron's.
Lights should be on.
And
I'm not. Don't have time to turn them on. So, I was gonna ask you something, and I
you
forgot.
want to get on the podcast? I don't know.
Yeah, do you?
I can dip out.
Hold on, I have one more. I think I have another question for you, and I'm trying to remember what it is. It's been a long day, Mike.
I believe it.
I think it. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of craziness going on right now. Okay, I guess I just want to ask. Then, you've been doing it for this long. What are your motivations still? What do you?
Well, I don't know, because I definitely have those low points where every couple weeks or months I'm like, do I still want to do this? But I think maybe I just don't. Also, I don't have any goals, so it's always been a perpetual hobby, And I'm not about to move to a hot like I could go. Maybe a goal is to get on Kill Tony, along with how many other people are trying to get on that show.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's pretty crazy how much that show is.
Yeah.
I thought it was alone. I started watching it like during the pandemic, and then it just became huge. And like people that don't even like what those guys are and what they stand for still watch that show because of what it is and what it represents in comedy.
I've done that 3 times.
What?
Yeah.
You've been there?
I've been on Kill Tony 3 times.
No way.
One time in San Diego when they took it to ACC, American Comedy.
You were on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to look this up.
Yeah, no, the first one.
We're going to link in the description, people. Mike
Devore's
Devore's
No,
Kill Tony episodes. Also, Cheyenne Burns has one recently.
The funny thing was the third time I did it, I remember like it was the main room at the Comedy Store. And I just remember, like, the comics before me, they were just getting shit on by Tony and all of them. And I just remember feeling like, oh, I don't want to go up anymore. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I said that to myself, they called my name. And I was just like, oh, fuck. And I bombed. And, I mean, like, it was what it was. But, like, I just rolled with the punches with them. Like, because I feel like if you fight them, they'll make it worse. So I was just like, I'm just going to roll with the punches and do what they ask.
I mean, it would definitely be... It would be cool, but I think it's like maybe it's a punk thing with music and all that, but when something gets super popular, I start to lose interest in it.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to whatever it is. It's just, I don't know. I liked it when it was kind of smaller and, we kind of only little of us knew about it. Now
it could be more interactive than when it gets big.
Now it's all about, well, I don't know. I mean, it's good for comedy. I don't want to say anything bad about it. It just seems like there's just things that are going to happen. Like, William's going to do this and, Cam's going to do this. And it's not like just a random comedy show. My mouth is getting very dry, but yeah, like I said, your motivations.
I like meeting people. It's a social aspect, but I know at some point it needs to be more than that because I don't want to be doing Well, I don't think we'll ever stop doing open bikes, but like, am I gonna be? It's hard to balance my health, and that's what's important. I think I never really want like my teeth falling out to be a bit of mine. Or how like I have.
Excuse me 1 second.
I have heart blood pressure problems when I could be trying to deal with those things and like exercise. I just started exercising again, so I'm like, well, how long is this gonna last? But if it makes me be able to do comedy longer, I mean, I'll just get better out of repetition. But it's hard. It's very hard. It's very defeating. I share all my stuff on YouTube because I have an audience.
Yeah.
They can't come out to see me, even though my YouTube presence is a fraction of what seeing me tonight will be. I'm told.
Yeah. It's gonna be just a packed house. Just
I'd hope so. Maybe
like sweaty people, just arms to shoulders to all sorts of body parts. I will say though, man, like just based on my perception, if you took a break, you decide not to do comedy for a while, you're not going to go away. People know you. People know your name. Like,
I think is braver than getting on stage is quitting comedy.
I've done that so many times.
But it's an addiction. That's part of the reason I've
quit comedy a couple times.
I feel like it too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to do it. Sometimes I think when everybody starts, and I think it's also like in the music, you have these big grand dreams, and then once you start to get into the reality of it, then you start thinking about what is the reality of what this is that I want to do. And
what did you say?
I was saying, like, in the beginning, you think about when you get into something like this, you have grand ideas and grand dreams, and you look at the very top, and then once you start doing it for real, you start to get realistic expectations. And then you start to figure out, like, this is how I'm going to make my way and do what I want to do. And the cool thing about this and this scene here is that we actually do have access to people. We have people that influence us, people that inspire us, people that can, give us advice and help us be better, in this craft as well. I never had that in music, like I could never, meet the singer of the Mars Volta or something like that. But
there's a lot of recording studios in Seattle though, but it's like expensive and you have to know people, where in comedy you're saying there's a more open resource.
Yeah.
I have talked directly to people that, look at, it's like not famous people, but people that are just well-known, successful, and they don't treat you as a fan. They treat you as almost like an equal. Like, hey, you're just starting out. Let me tell you, like, like, it's just like a comedian just totally treats you differently when they find out you're a comedian, no matter what level they are.
I'm glad you're getting that experience, because when I first started,
we were talking about that. He said no, like it wasn't like that. So
you're
in San Diego, or was it here in Seattle?
San Diego. When I first started, when I was coming up, like it was just like I just got shat on by everyone, like just my peers, people ahead of me, and like I just didn't understand it. And I just told myself, it's like, if I ever get into a position where I'm further along and like someone is new, I'm not going to treat them the way I was treated. Like, so now I just like I don't want people to experience what I experienced. So like I just treat them. I don't lie to new comics, but I will tell comics if they do something that I like I'll tell them that specific thing.
Yeah.
Like I won't say like everything else about your set sucks, but like I'll be like, hey, I liked how you did this, or like, I liked how you said this joke, and so like because I'm not being like a dick, I'm being truthful at the same time, helping them get the confidence to continue on their journey. So
I don't think I really get a lot of that feedback. I think that most of the people that I know don't really ask me about my jokes or comedy or anything like that. Maybe he does. He might be the only one, but I like talking about it. I like trying to make it better, things like that.
I have a note for you.
Oh, good.
Like, do you mind if I tell you? It's not a bad note. It's not.
Yeah, good.
Like, I wanted to tell you.
I
this.
walk too much on stage. I know that.
You do, and then like sometimes when you tell your joke, you look down after you tell your joke,
and I pull the mic away.
Yes.
Mike Mazzalotti. I let him watch one of my sets, and he said the same thing: is to don't pull the mic away from my mouth.
Unless it's out of confidence, then you can do it like this.
Yeah.
That's confidence.
Chest out and everything.
So.
Punchline.
And maybe it's just my inexperience. I'm still at the point where I'm just trying to tell the joke and not even think about what my body's doing yet, you know.
I get that.
This guy, he's doing all sorts of stuff with his body.
I'm trying to get off the notebook, but it's hard when you want to condense your sets and you only have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like I'm so good at a 3-minute set in front of like a comedy audience, like a comedy club audience. I think I could do really well. But I don't do. I only go to comedy bar really, so.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I saw you, you had a really fun set. I really enjoyed your set.
Thanks. I had a fun set on Tuesday. I went 2 nights ago. They let me go up 36th. I got off work at like
JoJo
10.
was the host.
JoJo was the host.
Yeah.
I had
Shout out
JoJo has JoJo has a unique voice, literally, and I said like. First thing I said when getting on stage, it was nice to get brought up by their voice, and I was like, every comedian once should be brought up by JoJo. But
I want JoJo to record a bedtime story for me so I can listen to it at night.
Moon.
Yeah. Good night, Moon.
That's where
hilarious.
We could do that.
Yes.
You have a concept. JoJo would do it for money.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we pay JoJo like 20,
Good night,
30 bucks,
Moon.
35 bucks. Do a couple takes, stitch it together.
Oh, I have Good Night Moon at my house. I have a kid, so.
Nice.
No.
Is that your favorite book?
No. Her favorite book right now is actually called The Poop Book or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just all about pooping. Everything is poop. Like she loves The Nightmare Before Christmas, all right? This is Halloween, Na, 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 na.
Yeah.
She'll go around going, poop, 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 poop. I'm like,
This kid is going places.
yes. She wants to be a comedian.
That's awesome.
Ad-libbing.
Yes.
It's his podcast, so it's like
we're
children's
talking,
books.
yeah.
Children's books.
And poop.
Yes.
So.
This guy's got quite a patched jacket on. Come here real quick. Let's have you stand in front of the camera.
I can hand off.
Who is this guy?
It's Elron?
Alron?
I don't think
The
he'll
druid?
get paid.
Are you really a druid? I would like to know more about the druids because there's a lot of mystery behind them, right? You know the druids. Isn't it like the Knights? Is it like the Knights Templar?
I think, I don't know.
Like the Freemasons?
Druids, they worship trees, right? And what are skateboards made out of?
Wood.
Wood.
Yeah.
Yes. But didn't they create Stonehenge?
Dude, I know a little bit about a lot of things and a lot of bit about nothing.
I think a joke could be you're a dog handler or something. You're like, I'm a dog walker, I'm a druid.
Yes.
No.
A druid dog walker.
Right?
Oh.
Do you guys know the X-Files?
A little bit. It's been a while.
There's this group of hackers called the Lone Gunmen.
The Lone
They're
Gunmen.
Give information to Scully and Mulder.
Okay.
The only time I've ever heard my name Aileron in pop culture is in the X-Files.
Oh.
Playing Dungeons and Dragons, and the guy goes, "I choose Aileron the Druid as my avatar."
Alron.
Hold on, pause the screen. Throw on the subtitles. We gotta get pictures of this. So
I don't know. Are you a comedian?
I'm a MC producer.
Signed up second.
Comedian, like I do shit.
You do? Nice.
He's on the list.
Yes, he is on the list.
But yeah, I'm supposed to. I don't have my ID.
Well, we've been doing this for an hour, so we're probably going to wrap it up pretty soon. But you could be on the next one. The Druids. Wow. They're awesome.
Turns out they don't worship trees. So
They don't. No. All I just remember is, you remember Spinal Tap, Stonehenge, they come out with the druids and all that.
Never saw it.
Yeah. You never, oh, dude.
Yeah, I heard good things.
Everybody just watch This Is Spinal Tap right now, because it's funnier than anything I'll ever do in my life.
No, don't say that.
No, I'm working on it. I appreciate the advice, though, dude. And yeah, for you, what's your motivation to keep going? Because you've been doing it a long time too.
Yeah.
You guys been doing it almost the same amount of time, right?
Yeah, like about my motivation right now is to just get my voice down, like writing from a very truthful and honest place. Because before, like I felt like I had the stage presence, I had performance-wise, I had all the other shit, but the writing wasn't something that I was connected with. I felt like I was writing for other people as opposed to myself. Now I'm writing for myself of shit that I think is funny. And then, like, if people accept it as jokes, whatever. If not, it's okay too. So my motivation is to continue to find my voice, and just like the sky, like kind of like what you said, like the sky's the limit. And I feel so confident with where I'm going right now. So that's what's motivating me right now.
Yeah, dude, you're out there a lot. I've seen you out there. I mean, I don't get it to do. Oh my God, it's just a comedian party here. Like I feel like we're gonna have to do another podcast after the mic because Noah just showed up.
Noah Rubin.
Dino Dad. This is just really exciting. It's because you're here, buddy. I told everybody
Probably.
Robbie Schroeder is coming. And
well, I said yes to be a co-creator on your post, and that was my first time.
Oh.
I didn't realize it was going to post it, and I'm like, maybe not the song I would have picked. But
what song did I pick?
I don't even remember. It wasn't that. It was something featuring Daft Punk, like remix.
Oh, it was LCD Sound System.
Yeah,
and I don't know
was just fine.
why.
I like LCD, but you know.
I'm more
like
of an
music.
LED type of person.
I don't really
LED.
know what kind of music you like.
Instrumental.
So you're instrumental.
I like
Wow.
but
Explosions in the Sky. You heard of them?
Yeah,
They're pretty good.
Robbie likes to imagine his own lyrics onto the instrumentals.
Yeah, I like to make up the lyrics.
Oh, dude, I want to show you guys the AI music I've been making because it's pretty crazy.
You got to release an album.
So I have a song that, well, it's not mine. I don't claim it or anything. It's a song that says it's about Stephen Michael James taking over the comedy scene. That's all. And it's really good. And it's better than any song that I could ever write.
It's called Stephen Michael James taking over the comedy scene.
I don't know what it's called.
I'm taking over the comedy scene.
I think it's called Comedy
Michael
Conqueror is what the song was. Because basically it created the lyrics. It's like, have you guys used like ChatGPT and like the AI?
Yeah, you throw in the lyrics and then
but you can either put in your own lyrics or you can ask them like a ChatGPT to make a song about this.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's what I did. I just said, make me a song about Steven becoming the king of the comedy scene.
That's funny.
And it like created these lyrics of like, he's a comedic conqueror. His jokes always land. Just like it's really good. It's really good.
I used ChatGPT to write a comedy bio one time, and it just made a bunch of fat jokes. And I was just like, and I wrote like, "Hey, how did you know I was fat?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't mean to make fun of you." And I'm like, "No, you're accurate." But like, I was just curious how you were able to do that. So.
Well, man, I don't even think. I even got to half of the stuff that I wanted to talk to you about.
Well,
we'll do another. We'll do another one. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming out here tonight, coming out to Kirkland for the first time, and looking forward to having everybody get the Robbie Schroeder experience. And
the 5 people that don't see me in Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. No. We always do have a normal, like a regular amount.
They'll trickle in.
Yes, and then. Mike, appreciate you coming out as well. You know, Thursdays, there's not a lot of options on Thursdays these days. You know, 4B's got closed down.
There's Hula Hula. There's Cheat Day.
And then
Tacoma, but tonight Tacoma's got a show. So Cam from Kill Tony is in town, and they...
How convenient.
Yes, so they canceled the mic, and
yeah.
Brandon White's on his way. He's coming tonight.
Oh, fun. So
I love Brandon, and hopefully some more South Tacoma. You know, the last thing I gotta say, guys, before we end this podcast, you know, there's been a lot of things said out there, and there's a lot of like hurt feelings and a lot of like groups and stuff like that. Ultimately, my goal is to just make people happy, make people laugh, spread joy, no matter where I go, whether it's here at Whiskey Mile or to whatever venue. And I feel like you guys are the same way. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Like the thing, like,
but
no. But it's just one of those things where it's like, because I used to want to make the world a better place. I used to want
Not-
to.
I don't know
make
about
people
that,
happy. No,
but-
but I used to want to do like what
Yeah.
you did, and it's not that I don't want to do those things anymore. I personally learned to let go of that because I can't control how other people feel.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
so now it's just like I just live within my values and try to do the comedy that I want to do. And if people fuck with me, that's perfect. If people don't fuck with me, that's fine too.
That's
So,
beautiful.
yeah.
That's really well. So what about you? What about your? How do you feel like what?
Yeah, make.
What do you want to do with what is your not what your goal personally, but what do you want your comedy to do for other people?
Increase their life expectancy.
I think honestly,
I want my
laughter,
comedy to jerk them off.
I think happy people live a long time. And I think people who laugh,
Yeah.
I mean, think about old people that laugh. They're always just pleasant to be around, And then there's old people that never laugh, and they're
Fuck
not.
those old people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the negativity keeps them around. If they weren't angry, they wouldn't
Yeah.
keep living. You
Yeah.
You just have to
Hey,
do
whatever your
It's just
motivation is,
doing.
people. So
I think it's just doing. Make good gut decisions.
Steven, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
No.
I was just here to watch.
No,
and
dude,
I appreciate you letting me.
I
jump on.
actually, I'm trying to work out time to do more of these.
Okay.
I think it's fun to do. So, and then it's really up to if people want to come out to my place in Granite Falls. I'm in
Northgate, so
I'm basically going to convert my garage into a studio. It's going to be. He's leaving. He's exiting the pod early. I'm gonna
I would love to be the first guest.
We're gonna He's just ignoring me. Robbie is ignoring me.
How
We're
dare
going
you.
to be taking a photo after this together as a cover. But that was Robbie, everybody. So thanks, Robbie, for being on. He'll be back. He'll be back.
At
yes. Yeah,
at Robbie's show.
That was the thing I forgot. Do you have anything coming up? Any appearances? Thank you.
yeah, I'll be in Monroe in June.
Monroe?
I think I'll be Joey Cruz is producing some kind of Monroe. I'll be doing 7 minutes.
Nice.
Or just come out to Comedy Bar on a Tuesday night at 11 to midnight.
And if you want to follow Robbie, it's at Robbie Schroeder.
Yeah, or Robbie Schroeder, spelled Schroeder.com. Not that. SCHROEDER.com. Robbie, ROBBIE.
Everybody calls him Schroeder, but I swear it's Schrader.
I don't care.
It's like when people call me Stefan. It's just going to happen. I'll continue to correct them my entire life. But Robbie is featuring tonight, and so you can follow him. Mike, you got a show. You got the Giggles, Gory Giggles.
I got Gory Giggles next Thursday in Tacoma.
Produced by Doris.
Shout out
D'Souza.
Doris. And I got World Series of Comedy the following week in Tacoma.
World Series of Comedy,
and
people.
then I got a handful of shows in San Diego at the beginning, the 4th of July weekend. So the 5th, 6th, and the 7th, I have shows in San Diego. So
San Diego. Yeah, Wes. Come see this guy.
yeah.
Wes, who used to be up here. Support the man.
I would love to be, once you convert your garage, I would love to be the first.
So yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of dumb, but it's like I own a house, I have this room and I have the lighting. I have, and I want to have, this is cool, like this setup, but it's like, obviously there were some bugs that we were trying to work out with the audio when I first got here. Now it's starting to get dark and need lighting. So I want to set it up to where I can have like a background and table and stuff like that. Oh, is it? It's still good? Okay, perfect. So we can do this is kind of more like on the go. I want to make it more comfortable, maybe longer. Set up a TV. We could watch some videos, react to stuff, make it real, a real cool. There's a lot of stuff that I'm doing. Obviously, I love technology, playing around with videos and reels, and any comedian that's cool with me, I'm happy to help you out.
I love what you do. I love what you represent, man.
If you want to help me with comedy, I'll help you with your social media stuff.
I appreciate
How about that?
Oh.
And then if you want to follow Mike, it's at Mike Devore.
At It's Mike Devore.
At It's Mike Devore.
Yeah.
On Instagram, YouTube.
YouTube is also It's Mike Devore. And I also, this isn't comedy related, but I just started a mental health support group that meets Sundays virtually at 1 p.m. PST. So if anyone's struggling with mental health,
I'll put the link in the description for that too. You know, that's really cool. I mean, I struggle with it all the time.
Yeah, we all do.
No joke. So,
yeah.
And then I think I'm having a show at Bad Bar on the 15th. It got rescheduled from last month, but J Marks headlining. The great J Marks.
Nice.
Ben Whittle-ish is probably not going to be there. Courtney Brennan and I feel like I'm missing somebody, but produced by Killer Set Productions. So, and then Whiskey Mile here, Sam's Open Mic every Thursday. We do in-person sign-ups. DM me if you guys want to feature. Not really paying people right now. It's because I don't have the money, but if you want to do some extra time, we can help you out. And other than that, at Stephen MJ Comedy. And that's all I'm going to say. Nick R. Cody on Instagram. Was it Scott Coburn? At Scott Coburn Comedy. At Scott Coburn Comedy. If you want to follow Scott. And then if you want to follow Adam Tiller, it's at Stephen MJ Comedy. Thank you. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Later.
Nobody recaps everyone they name drop quite like Stephen Michael James.